Folks, welcome back to the channel. How are you, HCMC Army and Moneymakers? So we are seeing Healthier Choices Management Corp, HCMC at $0, 0.0000. Many of you reached out to me asking for an update. When I tried searching for HCMC here, as you can see, HCMC stock price, I no longer see the chart because it is trading way below. Right now, we are seeing 0.0000 to 0.0001. As you can see, our price point did not really make into the 4 digits after the decimal points. Could be the reason that we are not seeing the price point here. If you take a look at OTC markets right now, we are seeing the price point of 0.0000 followed by a 5, which is a pretty low price point. So I wanted to do a quick review and analysis what we should look into, because do not forget that HCMC has pretty good substantial amount in cash on hand on their book of business. Take a look. We are seeing right here about, if I scroll down, $19.7 million, so close to $20 million cash on hand for their book of business. So their balance sheet is looking pretty green to me. What I can tell you is we are seeing a pretty high short volume. So take a look. HCMC short interest is pretty high. I wanted to scroll down and show you on the last trading session, which was on Friday, May 12th, we saw 75.92% FINRA short volume ratio, which is pretty high. That's a humongous short volume. 85% before that, 84% before that. And on 9th of May, we saw 80.05%. Before that, we saw 57.82. So there's a heavy short volume. When you see a volume, FINRA total volume of 133 million, we are seeing more than 100 million in the FINRA short volume. So short sellers are betting on this stock going to zero. So I just wanted to really quickly share this information with you. Before I go ahead, I wanted to ask if you can hit the like button. We need 200 likes on this video so we can share this information with more and more people. I know that you are looking forward to get some of the updates. So do hit the like button, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on very juicy, very interesting information that I cater and I share with you. So do me a favor, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, turn on the notification bell so you don't miss out on very juicy, very interesting information. Now, let's go back to this chart. I wanted to quickly show you once again our average volume, 365 million. Our volume on Friday was 132. That kind of matches with what we saw right here on 133 FINRA short volume. Out of that, we are close to the volume that we saw on Friday. Now, if you take a look, day by day volume, we were 211 million in volume 11th May. We were 133 million on May 12th. We were 274 million. So our volume is pretty low. And when you see low volume for OTC stock, not a great or not an exciting sign all in all. We want to also review what the insiders own at the moment. Right now, the file date is February 14th, where we see that Jeff Holman had 48 billion current shares, which is 12.39% of the ownership, which was changed 2.36%. Obviously, some of the stocks go to their CEO as the compensation. I do not have 100% information, but they are called restricted stock unit, or maybe just the stock unit in terms of the compensation or stock options. We also saw Sandy Christopher, who is their executive or COO as well. He had 23 billion in stocks, which is the ownership percentage 6.61. The interesting information is I found out on Fintel, and don't quote me, I am not a financial advisor, nor I am a certified professional. So do your own due diligence, research, and make sure at the end of the day that's your own money that you invested. So do not go by just what some random YouTuber tells you on a video. But take a look right here. We saw that on 4/28, which is February or April 28th, the trade date was 4/27. We saw that Jeff Holman, he sold 66.5 million units sold, which is negative, and he left with 6.8 billion total stocks. So you can do the math. Once again, going back, we saw that he had 48 billion, and now according to the latest report on Fintel, we are seeing he has 6.8 billion shares as of 28th. So 4/28, April 28th, so just before a couple of weeks or 3. I just wanted to share this information with you. However, if you take a look, why we are not seeing chart is because we don't really have enough fluctuation all in all, as you can tell right here, and which is why we are seeing no chart on when we search for this one. But many people ask me question, what is going to happen with HCWC and the spin-off? So what we heard from the company lately is right here in the FAQ. And HCMC also announced the record date for to be eligible for the dividend shares in spin-off for natural foods and grocery and wellness business. Now, this date was, they already filed. Once again, before I go to the date, I wanted to tell you that it is pending for registration statement form S1 relating to spin-off. Now, this is subject to everything gets approved. Everything is going through all the processes, and you already know that how long usually it takes, especially when you're looking into OTC traded stock. There are some formalities, the process, the audited records, they need to submit the paperwork, so on and so forth. But in SEC again, but the stock will begin trading in the second quarter or early in third quarter. Right now we are in May. So technically we are still in early second quarter. We are 14th of May, which is the first half of the second quarter. As previously indicated, they'll apply for listing HCWC common stock on NYSE American Stock Exchange. What you need to know, because if you already have HCMC common stock, you're entitled on that record date, you're entitled to get the HCWC stocks in the form of dividend. You don't really need to pay anything. It's kind of a free money, if you will. Dividend is usually company adds the value for the shareholders. So that's the way for HCMC, the way they gave out or awarded the stock in form of dividend. On the record date, that is May 1st, 2023, to ensure that you are the owner, and if you were the owner of HCMC common stock, you will get, or you should get, HCWC whenever the company follows up. Now, many people ask me, they did not really see any HCWC in the brokerage account. If you did see your HCWC in your brokerage account, write it down in the comment section below that you got it, and what platform do you use, whether you use Fidelity, TD Ameritrade, so on and so forth. If you did not get any, also write down in the comment section below what platform you're using or what brokerage firm you're using, and whether you did not or did get HCWC stock. But I haven't heard from anyone just yet that they saw HCWC stock into their brokerage account. One thing that you also want to notice, and this is a question, what is going to happen? Whether we'll get HCWC stocks or not. Now the answer is, if you are eligible, you will get HCWC stock based on what the company told us, based on the announcement, and based on what we see in FAQ. You need to make sure that you participate in dividend and own HCMC common stock on the record date. The record date, May 1st, 2023. Now, you're the deemed owner for HCMC stock on that date. You should own or purchase HCMC common stock at least 3 days before. So, those of you who wanted to get this dividend stock and bought it before 2 or 3 days or whatever the requirement was, and actually you met all the requirements, you should be able to get HCWC stock. Now, HCWC will be trading on NYSE. You should own the stock as company mentioned. And how many dividend shares HCWC common stock will I be receiving? Now, this is again based on what the company announced right here. We anticipate that the ratio being approximately 71,000 to 1, meaning for every 71,000 shares of HCMC stock owned, a shareholder will receive 1 share of HCWC common stock. The final ratio will be determined on the record date based on HCMC's outstanding on such date. So we will see when the company announced. But the interesting thing that I noticed is right here. Take a look. We saw that on April 24th, we got this frequently asked question. That was the last announcement. However, we did not really see this particular announcement for their reporting first quarter of 2023 financial results, which was on May 8th. I do not see on their news site. I'm not sure whether and why they did not really update. They might have forgotten or it just slipped through the cracks. But what I wanted to mention is company is focusing on the revenue, whether it's HCMC or HCWC. You know that with the spin-off, majority of the revenue generation will go to HCWC. You also should note that right here, I wanted to really quickly tell you what this means. With this new company spin-off, which we know at this point that is going to be HCWC, it is anticipated that that will be listed on NYSE. We know that major stock exchange. Again, don't quote me for that. We cannot really confirm until and unless the company tells us. And they will be comprised of what will be the former assets of HCMC, right? That includes 14 brick and mortar natural and organic health food stores, online vitamin store, 3 wellness centers, approximately $3 million that HCMC cash reserve will be given or will be transitioned to HCWC. This new company has the commitment from the institutional investors, $13.25 million upon listing, and the annual revenue is projected to be $60 million. Now, based on the current stores. Now, if they add more stores, there will be more revenue. You know that the company has $19 to $20 million, which is HCMC. This particular company will be getting $3 million that you already know as well. Plus, they also got $13.25 million from the investors. So the company is going to be cash rich, which means they will have enough money to fund more expansion. That also means that at the end of the year, they may target for more revenue. We know that how much money the company made in revenue. So let's take a look. The first quarter revenue, this is for HCMC, 13.6 million. So if you just multiply this 13 million, because most of the revenue generating assets will be going to HCWC, 14 times 4, $56 million, give or take. Or at the list, $45 million that the company is targeting. Now they're targeting, and this is Q1, by the way. As we go further into Q2, Q3, and Q4, based on what we have seen historically, the revenue tends to go up. Now, when it goes up, it adds more revenue. The first quarter record gross profit margin, or the gross profit, was $4.9 million, which was 149% above over Q1 of last year. The company, why I'm saying company is cash rich, is right here. I wanted to quickly show you, scroll down and show you that this is the cash on hand looks like once again. So cash on hand is for 19.7 million. Other assets, 7.4 million. So the company's total current asset at the moment is 27.2 million, which is a pretty decent cash on hand for the size of HCMC company. Now, once they get spin-off, they'll get a lot more exposure as well. They'll be on NYSE, they'll have more trading, they have given the dividend stock, so people will already have something to begin with. But the concerning thing is huge short volume in HCMC. The billion-dollar question is whether this short selling pressure or the short sellers will go after HCWC or not. We anticipate, or at least I for one, I wanted to make sure that, again, this is just a speculation. I don't know. We need to wait for the company. But what I think is they will be listing, this uplisting for HCWC on NYSE will be at $10. Now, the time will say, the announcement will say, but if short sellers go after HCWC, that is going to be also not so good for HCWC. We see that it is happening for Mullen. We see it happened for HCMC as well. HCMC was one of the popular meme stock, if you will, And you already know that it was back in the days. Before a couple of years, we saw HCMC was on target for short sellers with AMC, GME, and you name the stocks. We trade a lot into a lot of different penny stocks, and we saw that that thing happened for HCMC as well. Will that happen for HCWC? We don't know. But your concerns who reached out to me is valid. Your concerns are valid that why we are going to zero, because most of the traders or the owners of HCMC common stocks, they own HCMC. Yes, they did get the 10% more or less. They're going to get 10% more or less dividend for HCWC. But if HCMC goes to zero, 90% of their asset value is pretty much becoming nothing. It goes to zero. So the concerns are valid, but we need to wait for the companies to announce. The good news is for this new company, HCWC, they have commitment for 13.25 million. As I just mentioned, they got $3 million in form of the cash reserve from HCMC as well. Annual revenue is projected for 60 million. And the good thing is the new company, HCWC, expects to be cash flow positive upon listing, which means the company will be generating money, they'll be generating revenue, which will be good for the company. Moving forward, HCMC will get all this patent and IP suite and research and development that comes with the patent and lawsuit that is going on with Philip Morris. We don't know what the outcome is going to be, but we also know that there's patent validity is a big question. I'm not ruling that out, but if the lawsuit moves forward, you can expect that we need to get a solid pattern agreement from PTAB that the patent is valid, it is patentable. Right now, the state that we are at right now is the authorities are saying that the patent is not valid. Second thing is they want to protect and monetize the IP through the patent infringement, enforcement, and licensing. Now that can only happen once they find out the utility for their patent, which means the patent is being used in the products that the companies are building. And then they can get the royalty deal, they get the licensing deal, so on and so forth. Expand the sales with Q-Cup and the product's distribution and licensing. And the last one is expand offering for the patented product. With the new company, they want to do more and more merger and acquisition with the existing business, and they want to follow up on their healthier mantra that they already have. They want to be very scalable, they want to market more, and they want to expand their footprint into larger and bigger markets. I hope this clarifies. I will keep you posted. Based on OTC market, we are seeing that HCMC is still being current. Yes, there is heavy shorts volume and the stock is going down and down, because now you know that given that the short volume of 80%, 85%, 75%, 89%, that is hurting the stock price. Furthermore, we did not really see a press release from HCMC in terms of HCWC. We did not really see that they also announced their earnings on their website at the list. But I'll keep you posted as we get more information. Thanks for watching. Do hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, turn on the notification bell. I will see you in the next video.